Okay, we're going to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for March the 9th, 2026. Before we get into tonight's business, Mayor Patrick Kell will make a presentation at this time.
Thank you.
Employee of the month. This is for Ernie Naden for the month of February. Ernie Naden was selected for Employee of the Month of February. Mr. Naden was nominated because he is very proficient, dependable, and goes above and beyond in his role. Mr. Naden takes pride in what he does and is on call 24/7. You can always depend on Mr. Naden, and this award is much deserved. Mr. Naden has worked for the city of Muskogee for 12 and a half years, starting as an automotive mechanic 2, and then transferred to Public Works, assuming the role of plant maintenance mechanic 1 in 2015, where he is currently. Mr. Naden's spare time, he loves to take his wife on motorcycle trips to Eureka Springs and Hot Springs. He also builds and repairs computers. Mr. Naden. And I've heard even better things about you than what was in here. So that's a good thing. I'll just kind of hold this open.
You can scoot over this.
Thank you for your service. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate the work. Appreciate everybody I have to work with. I work with a bunch of people.
Thank you.
If you would join me at this time, we'll stand and have the invocation followed by the flag salute. Dear Lord, once again, we just come thanking you for blessing us with the gift of another day. Just ask that you would just look upon your city leaders on tonight as we come together, have decisions to make. We want to make sure that everything we do is in your will and in your way. These and many other blessings we ask, and thank you for in advance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Oklahoma flag.
I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people.
Finance Committee, agenda item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of February the 9th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
After reviewing the minutes, are there any corrections or additions to our minutes?
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve our Finance Committee minutes. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments January 31, 2026 through February 27, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Do we have a report from the Purchasing Committee?
Yes, the purchasing committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved the claims. I move for approval.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve our claims list. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval to award the contract for the lowest and/or best bid to Cooks Consulting LLC in the amount of $400,000 for the demolition abatement of 26 West Broadway Street, a.k.a. 26 East Broadway Street, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Winkle?
So we are actually asking that this be struck from the record, and I can go into details on that if you would like.
You guys need details? You want the details on why we're striking this? I think we're fine. Thank you. Item number 4, please.
Discuss and consider approval of Resolution Number 3080, a resolution of the City of Muskogee amending Appendix A pertaining to the schedule of fees and charges for open records requests and copies, amending the fees for digital email records and flash drives, adding per-hour fees for document searches and legal review and redaction, and amending the fees for city maps pursuant to Section 24A5, Title 51, Oklahoma Open Records Act, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Bodenhammer?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm actually going to have my Deputy City Attorney, Carrie Spencer, present this item.
Thank you, Ms. Bodenhammer. Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. This resolution, number 3080, brings our fee schedule in Appendix A into compliance with state law and the Office of the Attorney General based on changes to the statute that took place last year. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the staff does recommend approval.
Thank you. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve item number 4. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 4 passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider approval of the lowest and/or best bids for pricing per square yard for asphalt milling service from Ross Construction LLC and laid-in-place concrete from Good Concrete Finishing for citywide street maintenance or repair projects for the city for the fiscal year 2026, 2027, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Rigney?
Thank you. So the city solicited bids for asphalt milling service. We had 3 bids on this. Ross Construction did have the lowest and best bid. This is a very fair price. This is to assist the city in getting streets milled off. It's not part of the zone mill and overlays. This is so a contractor can come in and mill it off and the city can come repave it. On the concrete laid in place, these were also solicited. We also had 3 bids for this. They're very competitive bids, and Good Concrete did have the lowest and best bid. These bids are very, very fair price, and be happy to answer any questions if you have them. Otherwise, we recommend approval.
I have a question. When we get a very, very, very good bid from a contractor that maybe not known so well, do we do we look at what they've done before they pour, meaning, did they really put in rebar? Did they really do this? Because after it's covered up, it's covered up.
Yes, both of these contractors have done many projects for us in the last 5 years. So it's not relevant to this case, but to answer your question, yes, we do. We require pre-qualification for a lot of our projects, and we do check references if we're not familiar with the company.
Yeah, and that's great. Just most importantly, is this good? Is this Buddy good?
Yes.
I'll talk to you later.
Questions? Do we have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 5 passes. Item number 6, please.
Consider approval of final payment to Cook Consulting LLC in the amount of $96,071.61 for the North Country Club Civitan Drainage Project Number 2024011, or take other necessary action.
Good evening,
Mr.
Mayor
Reed.
and Council. This is final payment for North Country Club Culvert Project. The project included a structurally reinforced bridge structure that basically carries the stormwater from the west side of the project to the east side of the project. This has 3 cells in it, 5 foot by 10 each. And the project also included 1,400 feet of 6-inch high-pressure gas line. It was relocated from the roadway to the right-of-way. The project also included 200 feet of storm sewer installation, 1,000 feet of water line installation, and a new sidewalk was installed along the east side of the road and staff does recommend approval.
Move
Was
for
this
approval.
part of the Country Club Street project?
Yeah, this is the north project.
Okay. I can't tell you how nice that is to drive on that. That looks really nice. So, move
Move
for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 6 passes. Item number 7, please.
Consider approval of the retirement and surplus of the Police Department K-9 Max, allowing the current handler, Officer Taylor Hignite, to take possession of said K-9 or take other necessary action.
Chief Teehee.
Yes, Council, this is a K-9 that's reached kind of the end of ability to work the streets, and it coincides with Officer Hignite being finished with working K-9s. So with that combination, we just would ask that you would surplus him and allow him to be housed with his current handler.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 7.
Chief, congratulations on your appointment. We're all proud for you and happy for you.
You're fine. Item 7 passes, and that is our final item for the Finance Committee.
Call to work the Public Works Committee. It's item number 1.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of February the 9th, 2026, or take other necessary action.
Any changes or additions? Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 2.
Discuss and consider approval of amended ordinance number 4159A by amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 3, City Council Ethics, Article 2, Ethics, Section 3-8, General Policy, Section 3-9, Conflict of Interest, Section 3-10, Use and Disclosure of Information Prohibited, Section 3-11, Use of cellular phones and recording devices prohibited by council members during meetings, Section 3-12, Positive Workplace Environment, Section 3-13, Ethics Advisory Committee, Creation and Structure, Section 3-14, Participation in Ethics Investigations, Section 3-15, Violation, adding repeal or severability, codification, and setting an effective date, or take other necessary action.
This is my agenda item. I put it on because we had this when I got on city council about the use of cell phones and recording devices during our executive session. I would like to go back to that. I think we need it, just to keep the distractions down. I think a lot of us that have our phones up here get text and stuff while we're in here, and I think we need to turn them off and probably turn them in, and that way there's no chance of us getting involved with our phones while we're supposed to be in executive session.
Are you moving for approval?
I got a motion for approval. Second?
Second. Or
So, is there any discussion?
Yeah, discussion, sorry.
Because, I mean, I've gotten lots of calls about this, wanting to know if something happened. And I think when we do something like this, we just went back and said that we could have the phones. And now to say again that we can't have the phones, it appears as if something happened to the public. And so I think we need to address that before we do this, because it just looks like something happened.
Okay. Yeah, it was me noticing people on their phones during executive session and texting, so I thought it would be appropriate for us to go back to it. It's not anybody in the public, it's all up here during executive session. That's the reason I wanted to go back to this.
I mean, was there a breach of information or something I think we need to address the issues that the public is asking because you're bringing it forward. I'm not opposed to it either way, but I think we need to address the issue.
We're not supposed to be on our phones during executive session, and I've noticed that our phones are out in executive session, and I felt like we need to bring this back so we're not distracted by text or anything else, or emails during our executive sessions.
You're just saying it's a good idea. You're not saying there was an issue. You're just
Yeah.
saying you think it's a good idea.
I'm just saying it needs to, it cuts down on distractions while we're in executive session, and we just don't need to be on our phones. And so,
Katrina, could you touch on, there's a lot of extra sections in there that were not in the original language when we did this the first time. Can you tell us, so we won't miss anything as far as the extra sections that have been added?
The only extra section that was added was putting the phones back in, and then staff had requested that we still be allowed to have our phones during executive session. A lot of times I'll look up different laws. If someone has a question or pull up an ordinance, we communicate with our staff. Sometimes during executive session, go to the office and bring me such and such. And then we have also medical personnel, an exception for medical personnel. So that, for instance, we have a medical doctor right now sitting on council. He might receive medical calls during executive session, and this allows him to excuse himself and go out to take like emergency medical calls.
Thank you.
do I have a motion?
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call?
Mike Brawley,
No.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
No.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Can I ask something?
Agenda item passes. Agenda item number 3.
She have a
Wait,
question over there.
Can I ask something? Can we make an exception for Katrina?
That was included.
It's already in there.
Oh, it's already in there for you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
We just discussed that.
Well, I know, but, okay.
Agenda item number 3. please.
Confused me.
Consider approval of ordinance number 4278A, an ordinance amending the City of Muskogee Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 46, Health and Sanitation, Article 2, Food Sanitation, Division 2, Permits, Section 46-46 required, adding repealer, severability, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you.
It says Katrina Botenmeyer.
Yeah.
You're more welcome.
So I'm going to have my deputy city attorney, she'll address this item and the next one.
Thank you, Ms. Bodenhammer, Mayor, City Council. This ordinance is a result of the passage of the Food Truck Freedom Act that was passed in last year's legislative session, took effect November 1st of 2025. The biggest piece of this set of 5 statutes was that it removed the availability to municipalities to charge a permit fee for food trucks operating within the city limits. So this brings our ordinances into agreement and compliance with state law. We will need to declare an emergency since this took effect November 1st. We stopped charging those fees November 1st. Once this law took effect, we simply need to now have the official updated ordinance. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the staff does recommend approval.
Does this open the door for, I guess what I'm trying to ask, this doesn't lax the inspections and so forth, or is this something totally different?
Correct. It actually gives for a state permitting situation now, so food trucks have to have a state permit versus all the individual municipalities, and they still do have regulations that are required with regards to inspections, safety inspections, health department, fire inspections, all of those things are still in the law.
Thank you.
Does this cover the propane use and everything that the state does?
It does, and that's all codified in the state statute. The biggest thing for municipalities, again, is it doesn't allow us to charge a permit for every food truck. We have to accept their current state permit as it's given to them by the state. They have to bring that in to the city clerk's office. The city clerk then records that. And it does allow for us to continue to charge a permitting fee if they're operating within city parks.
And I'm going to point out something real quick, I'm sorry. The one in your packet is not correct, and Tammy handed out a correct copy of the ordinance amendment.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second it.
Approval and second. Roll call, please.
Can we move for approval as presented, please?
As presented.
Versus as in the packet?
Move for approval as presented in the package.
I have a motion, second.
I'm sorry, who made the second?
I did.
Yeah, on the
You
motion.
did, Shirley? On the amended, as
Yeah.
presented? Okay, thank you.
I got a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Jamie Stout, Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Agenda item passes. Sorry, guys, I'm trying not to mess this up too bad. Normally I don't do this. Agenda item number 4.
Consider approval of Resolution Number 3075, amending Appendix A of the Muskogee City Code, amending Section 46-46, Health and Sanitation, Food Service Sanitation, Permit for Establishment or Vehicle, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Bodenheim?
Thank you. My Deputy City Attorney, Carrie Spencer, will present this item.
Thank you, Ms. Bodenhammer. Thank you, council. Again, this resolution is the companion to the ordinance we just discussed. It brings our Schedule A into compliance with the state law, removes those permitting fees that we were previously charging. I'm happy to answer any questions. The staff does recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second. Got a motion for approval and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Agenda item passes. Number 5.
Consider approval of Resolution Number 3081, recognizing the substantial impact of the retail food environment on the economy, health, and well-being of the citizens of Muskogee, and providing support to the farmers markets and community gardens within the city, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Ewing?
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So you see in front of you proposed Resolution 3081. So this is a resolution that recognizes the not so insignificant impact of retail food environment here in Muskogee's economy and on the health of our citizens. So in the first part of the proposed resolution, it acknowledges some startling facts, such as 67% of adults and 33% of children in Oklahoma are overweight or obese. And obesity is a chronic condition associated with heart attacks, strokes, cancer, diabetes, all preventable. Why is that last part important? Well, these preventable diseases are some of the leading causes of death in the United States and subsequently in Oklahoma. And poor diet is one of the main causes of obesity, heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes. And studies continually show a strong association between access to healthy food and better health outcomes. Less than 4% of adults in Oklahoma, 4%, less than 4% of adults in Oklahoma reported consuming 2 or more fruits and 3 or more vegetables every day. Terrible. Compared with 7.4%. Also terrible in the United States. And this ranks Oklahoma 49th in the nation. A significant number of low-income residents in Muskogee lack convenient access to grocery stores and other healthy food retailers. And lastly, this resolution brings to light the annual cost of this to the Oklahoma economy in medical bills, workers' compensation, and lost productivity because of obesity and physical inactivity. And that is $854 million. That's almost $1 billion. We got to do better. And after recognizing the issues at hand, the resolution goes on to state that the city is resolved to do all it can to support efforts that improve the food retail environment, especially underserved areas, that it supports the existence and operation of farmers markets within the city limits, and that it recognizes that community gardens are a best practice in making healthy food available to citizens, especially low-income and low-access households. So with all these things in mind, this resolution is a way for you to recognize where we have some areas for improvement and to declare our support for all the great things we have that are combating the problem. So, and we also need this document to attach to a TSET Healthy Incentives Planning Grant for Rooney Park. So it will also help with any future TSET Healthy Incentive Grants that we have. So for all these reasons, staff recommends approval for the resolution. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Move
Did
for
you
approval.
make a mistake when you said 2 pieces of fruit and 3 vegetables a day?
That's correct.
I don't eat that many in 2 weeks.
No comment.
I move for approval.
I second it.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. That agenda item passes. Agenda item 6, please.
Receive a presentation and discuss possible amendments to the R1 and R5 zoning regulations, providing direction to staff or take other necessary action.
Let me see here. Sarah Winkle, sorry about that.
That's okay.
They handed me something at the same time.
That's okay. Good evening. We had presented our residential zoning ordinance update to you all through council lunches back in January, and we're asked to bring this back to this meeting and present it to you as a group. So we're going to do an abbreviated version of that to get any more questions that you guys have, and then see what kind of guidance that you have for us. Current residential zoning breakdown right now is shown on the screen, and that is RA, ag residential, R1 single family, R2 is your duplexes and your 2-family residentials, R3 is your townhomes, and condos, R4 is multifamily, R5 is mobile homes right now, and that is how it is stated in our zoning ordinance. Some of the proposed solutions that we have, proposed solution A, rather than calling it R5 mobile homes, we would like to call it R5 alternate housing. What that would entail is splitting the R5 zoning out into 3 different sections. So we're going to have R5A, which is going to encompass your RVs and campers in those parks. R5B is going to be manufactured and modular homes, and R5C would be tiny cottage homes. Some of the, for the RV and the camper parks, the recommendations, that you guys gave us, we took to heart. And for some of those new parks, we're going to require providing infrastructure development plans, providing facilities for tenants. We're going to ask for 5-acre lot minimums for those RV parks to make sure that there's enough space. Licensing or permits annually to require for a park inspection. Property must meet code requirements for new licenses and permits, a local site manager, and then meeting Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality Standards. For the pre-existing parks, we're going to ask for some of those requirements as well, such as licensing or permitting annually. It has to meet all code requirements for those to be issued, and then having a local site manager. Those are some of the things that we would like to enact for the RV and the camper parks. What that looks like as far as regulations go, and my staff has done a remarkable job at researching this. The 5-acre minimum lot size is something that we are seeing frequently. 15-foot spaces. For new parks, we're going to require a fee of $500 and $10 per space and that is as they apply for the new park that they want to bring in. Existing park fees would be $250 plus $10 a space. As stated earlier, requiring an on-site manager. ODEQ standards would have to be in compliance, and then we would require an infrastructure development plan. For the R5B, which is your manufactured and modular homes, some of the questions were asked is what's the difference? So manufactured are transported on a permanent chassis. The permanent chassis remains under the house, but they are built to HUD standards. Your modular homes are transported in on trucks and pieces. They're placed on permanent foundations, but they are built to IRC standards, which is the same as site-built homes. For the mobile home parks, if somebody wants to do a new mobile home park, we are going to look at requiring some of the same standards that we are asking for the new RV parks. We've got some pictures. These are what the manufactured homes would look like that we are going to allow in those areas, and then the modular homes, which look at like the more stick-built homes. For the tiny cottage homes that would go in the R5C zoning, 800 would be the maximum square footage. State law says that we cannot dictate a minimum, so we would set a maximum on that. Manufactured homes would not be allowed. They have to be stick-built, truss-built homes and built on-site. They must meet IRC code. They cannot be shed conversions, so there's a lot of things on HGTV that are showing shed conversions to homes and things like that, but they don't meet code. So you could not do shed conversions for tiny homes. What that would change for the bulk and yard standards is it would break out under R5A, the lot area would be required at 5 acres. R5B, this would be reduced from 6,000 square feet, which is what it currently states, to 4,000 square feet to allow for more development. And in R5C, it would also be a smaller lot size, which would be the 4,000 square feet. So that's solution A. Solution B. Solution B requires 2 outbreaks of zoning. So rather than having everything under the R5 zoning, we would put the tiny home and cottage homes under R1 zoning. So you would have R1A, which is your traditional stick-built homes that are 800 square feet and larger, and then you would have R1B, which is your tiny cottage homes, which would be up to 800 square foot. And then the R5 zoning would be R5A for RVs and campers, and the R5B for manufactured and modular homes. The way that that looks on the bulk and yard standards, the R1A would not change at all. It's still 7,200 square feet for your lot area, but the R1B for the tiny homes would be 4,000 square feet for the smaller lot sizes to allow for those smaller homes. This will also help us with infill lots that are already zoned R1 and help us be able to fill those lots that are currently not considered buildable. The R5A is your RVs and campers, which is the 5 acres as we just discussed, and the R5B would shrink from 6,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet. Your pros and cons. So solution A, which is everything under the R5 zoning, the pros are it redefines the R5 instead of it being mobile homes, it redefines it as alternate housing, defines specific areas to be more conducive for your tiny and cottage homes, and provides structure for your RV, camper, and your mobile home park development. The cons that are associated with that is there's going to be more immediate rezoning and land use amendments to the brand-new future land use map that we just put through on the comp plan. It's also going to require more ordinance updates. Solution B, which is breaking it out into the R1 and the R5, the pros are there's no immediate land use amendments that would be required. We have a lot of R1 zoning already there that has the smaller lots on it, so we would not have to do any land use amendments for those areas. It redefines R5 as alternate housing, and as stated before, it defines specific areas that are more conducive to your tiny cottage homes and provides structure for the RV, camper, and modular home park development. The cons are also that it's just going to require some ordinance updates. This is the future development map that we are looking at when we're looking at these areas, so this is what we would have to amend less if we go with solution B. We also wanted to talk about short-term rentals. There's been a lot of questions in my department about short-term rentals now with the Civic Centers trying to do more things. We've had a lot of questions about Airbnb and VRBOs, so we would like to add this to our ordinance as well. The permitted use in the areas would be single-family homes, manufactured and modular homes, and the tiny cottage homes would be allowed to be short-term rentals. Non-permitted uses would be in duplexes or RV and campers. And if somebody wanted to rent out their townhome or their apartment, like we do see on Airbnb and VRBO, it would require a special use permit. Some of the requirements that our department is developing that we would like to require for this would be home sharing applications. This will help us keep track of where these short-term rentals are. It'll also help us when it comes to the annual inspections and the permit fees that we would like to ask for these short-term rentals. In addition to that, we're going to ask for insurance verification on these homes and notice to neighbors. So a lot of communities, if you want to put your home as an Airbnb or a VRBO, you do send out a notice to your neighbors, or the city does, that home is going to be used for that, so that they are aware of that situation. The recommendation from staff is solution B, which breaks it out and puts single-family homes and tiny cottage homes under R1 and puts RV campers and manufactured modular homes under R5B. And so our solution shows you the pros and cons that we already went over. And then the short-term rentals, of course, that we also just stated. Do you guys have any questions or comments or any other advice for us as we move forward with this?
No, you guys have done a lot of work on this. Sarah, I know you've been heading this up from the very beginning, and I think you've done a wonderful job.
I absolutely cannot take credit. My staff has done a remarkable job on this research.
Well, you and your team.
you guys have all done a great job.
So is there a certain stipulation nationwide that says that it's got to be 800, or is that going to just be us?
No, so that is not a stipulation nationwide, it's just something as, we looked at our IRC code, and I actually would like to defer that to Brent, if you'd like to answer that, as to why we chose that number.
So there is actually an Oklahoma law that we cannot dictate as a municipality the minimum square footage, but we can dictate.
Sorry, Mr. Robert, can you come up to the mic, please?
Sorry.
So there is a law that states that we can't dictate a minimum, but we can say up to a certain square footage. So that's why we went with 800.
So why not 1,000?
So we really could choose any, but we are seeing a lot of the tiny homes or cottage homes around the 800 square foot range. It'll also work with the 4,000 square foot lots, smaller lots.
So the state doesn't have a minimum, but don't certain subdivisions have their own, like we ran into in North Park?
So I can answer that. So there are covenants and restrictions that subdivisions can put on their plats. However, the covenants and restrictions are not governed by the city offices. We can't enforce those.
Right.
But what we can do is, for instance, on that one, when you see something like that, we can look at those covenants, and we were able to send our inspectors out to catch that before it.
Because that one is stopped, it's
went-
ceased, hadn't it?
Right, our inspectors actually went out there to let them know that there were actually covenants and restrictions on that.
Dan, I did a little research on plans for these homes. Almost all homes were just under 800. And I don't know why, 795, 785, 750. If you'll take a drive around town, there's a lot of homes that are 1,000, 1,050, 1,100 square feet.
Yep.
So, we can build that without calling it a tiny home.
Yeah. I mean, I was just wondering why that number, because I was thinking, then I thought, well, you could build whatever you want on either side of the spectrum, but I was just wondering why we picked 800 square feet for a tiny home. I'm not going to move in one. I don't want to walk outside, turn around, and go back in. But so, and then on the lot fees, like for the RV parks, why are we setting that, not the owners? Is that to keep certain what?
So on that is just the application fee for, like, what we have found with other municipalities. I know, Skylar, if you'd like to answer that, I know that she did a lot of research on that as well. And a lot of these different RV parks would set application fees if you wanted to create a new RV park or a new.
That's just kind of like a building permit fee.
Correct,
Well,
correct.
and I was wondering why we, like, per lot, we were also adding a fee to each lot. Can we just not do,
To each space,
huh?
to each space?
Yeah.
Okay, Skylar, would you like to?
I didn't understand that. Why are we billing someone for each space and not just the whole project?
So the research that we did, we looked at each, basically, responsibility per space. So you're looking at RV parks being, you're looking at RV parks and the amount of spaces that people are trying to develop, and we're wanting to keep that number consistent. And so you're looking at that $500 application or permit fee. And we just really want that responsibility for that developer, to know how many people they're bringing into the area. And so that's basically what we're looking at as far as that fee. And that can be adjusted. That's something that you guys can discuss. But that's just kind of what we're presenting as far as the initial permit fee and inspection fee that we placed.
So, and this is the way I think about that, is that if I'm a builder and I'm gonna build a RV park and I want 30 spaces, I'm gonna build 30 spaces and pay the $10 a space. But and if you don't have the money, you probably shouldn't be building it. But that's the kind of way I'm looking at it. But I just kind of thought, that's just an extra fee that the city's getting And I just want the construction fee, I didn't want the add-on to each lot. I don't see a need for the additional $10 a lot. Maybe I misunderstood that.
Well, I mean, you can look at the 5 acre, area that we're looking at. And like I said, in your discussion, you can discuss whether or not that $10, or $10 or $15 per space, is conducive for the future of that park. But when you're looking at the long term and how long that park is gonna be there, you want it to be beneficial for the city. And we're not asking them to pay $10 a space per year. That the inspection fee or permit fee is gonna be different from that initial fee that they're paying as they're developing.
Dan,
So if I, hang on one second, if I come back and I say build 15, I want to build another 15 later, I only pay the $10 per lot, not another $500. Yes or no?
Correct.
Okay, I'm good with that.
What does the other RV parks in the area, do they do that same thing in the other cities? Charge a lot price plus the,
So, yes, so we did research beyond just Oklahoma. There weren't really a lot in Oklahoma that have the standardized details as far as development. So we expanded to Texas and Arkansas, and they do have the standardized.
so they charge the construction fee plus a per lot fee?
Yes.
Or per space fee? Okay, thank you.
Dan, I was going to tell you, part of these fees, instead of going to a house and inspecting, water and plumbing and sewer, or water and sewer, and then utilities, they have to inspect all of that on every little 30-foot wide lot. So we're not making our money back. It's costing the city money, but so be it.
Well, I was just sitting there thinking, while we're picking, so they could charge more than what we're asking.
Correct. We
'Cause what about a guy that's just wanting to stay overnight? Does he have to pay the $200?
So these are not the application fees for the property lot. This is to construct the new lot.
It's just
This
an
is-
annual, one time.
Okay.
This is if you came into the city, you yourself, and said, I want to build an RV park, then this would be your application fee. And then if you were doing 30 spaces, it'd be that plus the 30, or the $10 per space.
So we have little packets set up for if someone goes, I want to build an RV park, you reach up and grab it, you got to fill out all of this, like a one-stop thing, where you don't have to go to, and then there will be a form on there that'll let her know that, well, they won't need to do water, but they'll just,
we can't create a packet like that, and that's kind of goes into the infrastructure development plan. So that plan that they're going to create will be based on what we ask of them as far as their initial interest in developing an RV park. So we'll have a form that kind of gives us general information about the details of their park, the size, how many lots and things like that. And then we can go into further
we
information.
discuss amenities on there, like if they have external showers, like a.
That would be
towels,
on
all
the
that kind
form
of
as
stuff.
well, yeah, what we're asking them to have.
Because the number one thing go down on an RV is the hot water tank and the shower. So I just they need to take a shower and be able to do their laundry, so. Just thinking about it, been dealing with them a lot lately, so.
Understood.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Understood.
Any more questions? We need to approve this? Or is it?
This was just a discussion and then any direction that you guys had for us, and if you had action for us to take.
Okay. So nothing need to be done. Agenda item number 7.
Does anybody have questions or comments in that? Could we do this or add this, or I don't like that, let's pull it, or I don't know that this is time to vote, but I would think that next time we come here, we should vote, and we need to be prepared to say, let's have, because otherwise she's going to go and we might as well vote it. So does anyone have any changes that need to be made or whatever? And if we don't, we can say next meeting we'll vote on it.
I think you did a great job.
So if I could, I mean, staff does have a recommendation of the two options. And I think there needs to be some direction from the council as which way to go. But then really the next step probably needs for this to go to the planning commission, for them to do the heavy lift and finalize everything.
Then come to
I would like
us.
to hear what the planning commission, which proposal the planning commission likes before
Yes,
we take
I would
a,
like to see that before we vote on it.
Yeah. When do they meet again?
When do they meet?
Do they meet?
Ms. Winkle?
So they meet again on April the 7th.
Oh, not till April 7th?
This body's more qualified to make that A or B decision.
Well, some of it. Maybe. Is there any changes anybody like to make to this, or would you
I
like?
think they've done a great job.
I think we kind of, in our lunches, kind of flushed out a lot of this.
But do you want A or B, though?
B.
I don't have a problem either having them come back again with a recommendation, or even one that planning and zoning agreed on. I don't mind saying, I move that we accept B and then have them continue on with what they need to continue on with.
Does everybody else accept that?
I don't know, is there a second?
Well, per the agenda item, the way it's presented, we can't vote. There can't be a vote tonight.
Okay.
So it's to make recommendations or direction to staff.
But it
So it'd
needs
be
to go
kind of to
before
direct
planning and
them
zoning
to
before we
go
vote on it.
towards plan, so the direction would be to move toward Plan B.
But I like A.
I mean, well, devil's advocate always, to move toward Plan B that you just said you liked, and give them some direction tonight.
Yeah, and just proceed forward.
We'll see you at the next city council meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. No action needed on this tonight. Agenda item number 7.
Receive and discuss a certificate of no action necessary on the property located west of the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center, 320 West Martin Luther King Street, provided by the Oklahoma Corporation Commission through their Brownsfield program, stating the property does not contain pollutants or take other necessary action.
Mr. Boltonhammer?
Thank you. Excuse me, the city attorney's office reached out to the Oklahoma Corporation Commission about 2 years ago to start this process. We applied for a grant through the Brownsfield program. After the city purchased the empty lot that was vacant next to the MLK Center. And that was a former gas station, and we're worried about expanding the MLK Center or building onto that or putting a parking lot if there were pollutants or potentially fuel tanks left underground. So the Brownsfield grant program will come into certain cities, and if you're buying property that you didn't cause the pollutants on, but you think that there are pollutants, you can have that all examined, and they dig down, they do soil tests, they do ground scanning to check for tanks and everything to make sure that that lot is safe. And that's the first grant that you apply for. So we applied for that. The city attorney's office received approval for that, and then we started the process of getting this property inspected. So they've done, the Oklahoma Corporation Commission came in through this program, and they thoroughly inspected the property. They did not find any gas tanks left on the property. They did not find any pollutants or any kind of environmental contaminations that they tested for, which means that we don't have to apply for the second grant, which is a cleanup. So the property's good to go. So I just want council to know that that was successful. The property is safe to build on and expand the center, build a parking lot, or do whatever the city wants to do with it.
I'm so glad to hear that, because about 6 years ago, we were looking at that, and I was very against that, because just before they tore it down, and I was asking, is there gas tanks on there? Did they pour the oil and the antifreeze out the back all these years? And I guess it's sunk so far down, we can't find it. No.
Yeah, well, they didn't find any, and that's one of the reasons why the city attorney's office, when we applied for the grant, we applied for it with the closing documents to buy the property, to make sure that we got the grant, so we could buy the property and buy it without pollutants, or knowing that we could get the grant Part B to clean it up.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's a well-needed addition over there.
And happy to answer any questions, and there's no approval on this. I just wanted to let everyone know and to see the certificate that's in your booklet.
Anybody have any questions?
I tried to tell you that years ago, Dan.
Huh?
I tried to tell you that years ago.
You didn't even know. You agreed with me. What are you talking about? You were way too. No action needed on this item. Number 8.
Consider approval for the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Tetra Tech for a sewer system evaluation in a sewer basin located in the northwest quadrant of the city in an amount not to exceed $175,000 or take other necessary action.
Since Mike Stewart's not here, I guess it's you, Avery.
All right. Thank you, Chairman. So this is a sanitary sewer evaluation in the northwest quadrant of town, more specifically this area indicated on the map, which the words are not showing up very well. But that solid red line across the top is basically the walking trail. If you go down, you have Lenapaw, Tamaroa, and then that street that's running at a 45-degree angle from left to right going downwards is Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. So this is an older part of town. We have some residents in the area who suffer a diminished sewer service whenever we get heavy rains, meaning we think we've got some inflow and infiltration of stormwater into the sanitary sewer. The most effective way to get a capital improvement plan to fix that is to have a company like Tetra Tech come in and do the things like flow metering, flow monitoring, I should say, smoke testing, line cleaning, and CCTV in those sewer lines, which is running a crawling camera through them. We do some of this stuff in-house, like line cleaning and some CCTV, smoke testing on certain occasions, but we don't have the flow monitoring equipment to do this. We don't have the manpower or the equipment to do this on such a large scale like Tetra Tech could. We recently did something very similar to this in the northeast part of town. We had 7 items that could have been improved in the northeast part of town. We got in and knocked those 7 out and waiting for a next good rain to see if those improvements carried the weight that we think we do. So this is something that is fairly necessary in this part of town given its age. It's predominantly clay tile sanitary sewer lines, which are more susceptible to I&I than PVC. I think that pretty well covers it. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Staff recommends approval on this, and we think it's a big step in the right direction for helping some of our citizens out.
My question is going to be to the city manager. Do we have money to fix all this after all the testing's done?
Immediately, no.
I can kind of help with that answer. It depends what we find. So one of the things that we could find is that there was a house demoed in that area 40 years ago and they never plugged the sewer line. We'll find that out in a smoke test, but that's not something we have the staff availability to send them out to check historical records of every house that's been torn down and did they cap it. So if it's a fix like that, if we have 5 or 6 of those, we can make a big difference with extremely low funding. But there's a chance that a main has a major problem, and that could take more funding and a more thorough capital improvement plan.
Okay. The reason why I was asking is because I was getting excited. If we could just go in there and replace all that, that would be awesome. But we don't have the funding for that. So if we could find that would be great to fix all the plumbing over there. I know that's a historically older part of town, so. Any other questions? Motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Agenda item passes. Number 9, please.
Consider approval to purchase 1 commercial use sanitation truck from River City Hydraulics via source well numbers 110223 and 17934 in the amount of $221,042.01 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Avery?
Yes, so this looks like a familiar agenda item. It is. We recently bought 2 commercial use sanitation trucks from River City Hydraulics. Unfortunately, one of those trucks that we bought was in an accident and was totaled. So with that being said, it was claimed as a total loss on insurance. We were given 2 options by our insurance company. One was a 100% reimbursement for the cost of the vehicle, but we had to give the vehicle to the insurance company. Option number 2 was we got a 90% reimbursement, but we got to keep the sanitation truck and utilize it for all the specialized parts on the body, the Packer body on it. After discussions between me, Mike, and Mr. Swepston in Fleet, we thought it would be a net benefit to the city financially for us to take the 90% reimbursement and keep the truck. So with that being said, we want to put that 90% reimbursement to a replacement truck for that. That is a necessary thing for us to have to stay up on our commercial trash routes. Be happy to answer any questions.
So is there a difference in cost from that 90% to the 100% since we're keeping the other truck?
Could you
Are we
clarify
going
your
to buy the
question?
exact truck over?
Yes. So we'll have to take that remaining 10% from our sanitation account to purchase that, which it does. It's not a budgeted item, but it does have funds in there for purchases like this.
Thank you.
I think it was a great idea to keep the truck for the parts.
Thank you. I'd like to take some credit there, but Robert Swepston is the man with the plan when it comes to fixing these.
That was a great idea.
Any other questions?
I move for approval.
Got approval, second?
Second.
I got a second. Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item passes. Agenda item number 10, please.
Consider approval to accept a Safe Streets for All grant from the United States Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration in the amount of $389,500 with a city grant match of $97,375 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Rickey.
Yes, so Public Works has been working with our partners at Neighbors Building Neighborhoods. They help us with our grants. This is a grant that we applied for several years ago. It got hung up in the federal budgeting process, but they have finally sent the paperwork over for us to accept it. So that's what we ask for tonight is the acceptance of this grant. The total amount of the grant is $486,875. Of that, $389,500 are what we will be receiving from the Federal Highway Administration, and we will have a match of $97,375. That has actually been budgeted already and is currently in this year's budget because we anticipated this grant going faster. So it's taken care of on the budgeting side. What this grant is for, it's a planning grant for a Safe Streets for All program with a Safe Routes to School program and a non-motorist safety plan. So what that is going to do is allow us to go out, solicit an engineering firm of our choosing, and evaluate the city on several fronts. These fronts range from walkability, bikeability, safety, lighting, and overall layout of our street index. This doesn't pertain to the quality of the street itself, but more about how it's used and who it's used by. They will examine accident records, have community engagement, so they'll gauge public opinion and utilize many other tools to generate a list of capital improvements for the city. For example, they may choose a school and see that there's a lot of students walking, but they don't have a lot of walkability infrastructure for that school. So they'll say, city, your best bet is to go add a sidewalk here. We'll come up with the groundwork for this plan, including the statistics, the data that we need to apply for those future transportation alternatives grants or Safe Routes to School grants. So this is they're giving us a lot of money. We're contributing roughly 20%. 80-20 is a standard match in grants like this, and it will help us start to make the community level improvements that provide walkability for our citizens and our students and non-motorized vehicle pedestrians. So with that being said, we recommend acceptance of the grant.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment that this is great because we've been doing the walk, bike, and rolls and gotten things for Cherokee and Irving and the 6th and 7th grade center, those schools that have lots of kids, but the walkability and bikeability, right? And so I think this is great.
Thank you. We're very proud of it.
Any other questions?
Second it.
Motion, second. Roll call, please.
Mike Raleigh.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
And I want to thank everybody for suffering through me being the chairman on this agenda tonight.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to special call Muskogee City Council, March 9th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
Melody Cranford.
Here.
Dan Hall.
Here.
Mike Raleigh.
Here.
Okay, do we need to make a motion to go into
No, this is regular.
Okay, item number 1.
Consider approval of a special warranty deed and a termination of a second amended and restated lease and memorandum with St. Francis Regional Services Incorporated that will terminate St. Francis's current lease of the land where the new bed tower is located and convey that real property from the city of Muskogee to St. Francis pursuant to the Muskogee Project Development Agreement dated March 15, 2022, or take other necessary action.
Ms. Bodenhammer?
Thank you. This agenda item actually needs to be amended on the language, so it will talk about, when it talks about the land, it will be St. Francis' current lease of the land adjacent to the bed tower instead of just the bed tower that was left out. And what this is we had a Muskogee Project Development Agreement in March of 2022. It had to do with a lawsuit that was settled, and in that agreement, we agreed to transfer this property when the bed tower reached substantial completion. St. Francis agreed to make payments to certain entities, the school and other entities in the city, and build a new bed tower and provide additional services to the citizens of Muskogee. And so that's kind of what this is. It's just a wind-up. We've received notice of their substantial completion, which is included in your packet, and we just need approval to go ahead and execute the lease and terminate the lease and execute the deed. And this is, again, the property surrounding the new bed tower. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Katrina, can you clarify? I got, several calls over the weekend concerning this being public land that we're giving away or, allowing to be transferred through this lease process. Can you explain the legalities of that, and is there any liability that we could get involved in when it comes to doing a project like this and not going before the vote of the people?
No, because this land was actually effectively transferred before. My understanding is, this is pre-me, but my understanding is that there was a lease with Capella Hospital. That hospital itself was managed by the city and the MTA, I believe. Ann, is that correct? Do you recall, if you want to come up and speak on that?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you come up? You're going to know more of this history than I am.
Yes.
So this is Ann Ong from the MMCA, Muskogee Medical Center Authority.
Yes. And the authority had a lawsuit with St. Francis over the fact that they did not want to comply with the terms of the agreement as it had been transferred from Capella. St. Francis prevailed in that particular discussion, but we agreed to give them the hospital property for the promise of the new hospital towers. And that has been completed, and that transfer of land took place in March of '22. So you cannot transfer that property tonight because it's already been transferred.
So we're
But
talking
the
about
property that's adjacent to the hospital is the property that is up for being transferred. And the question as to whether or not you can legally do it is not within my purview to determine. But there is a contract for that, so.
So as far as the legal issue, I just wanted Ann to be able to give the history of this.
Right.
So the bed tower property itself was actually transferred in 2022.
Right.
Pursuant to that lawsuit. So tonight, as I stated earlier, we're transferring the land just around that bed tower. We don't have to have a public vote on this because of the type of land that it is and the way that it was held, as long as we're doing it for public benefit. So when we settle this lawsuit, it's settled to the benefit of the citizens of the city of Muskogee.
You have actually already agreed to do this.
Yes.
You have already contracted to do it. The only thing that's left is for you to really do the formalities of signing over the warranty deed for those properties.
And that was in a lawsuit pre-me, and that was the agreement reached with the court and approved by the court.
Right.
So I agree with you when you say a public benefit. The benefit is that our health care for the entire city has improved
Yes.
with the building of this. And that contract does include us monitoring, making sure that we get the adequate doctors here in Muskogee, that the transfer rates are down and so forth.
Right.
And you had signed up to speak. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, Katrina and I had a discussion prior to this, and we agreed that if the statement is amended to say that it's the adjacent properties and not the tower properties, then I'm okay with that, so.
And we all agree on that.
We all agree on that, and actually, all the attorneys agreed on that before, so.
I just didn't want us to make a mistake by not properly wording
Yes,
the resolution.
yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann. Okay, item number,
We need a motion.
we need a motion.
Move for approval.
I second it.
Roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. Item number 2. Item passes. Item number 2.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the lawsuit styled Polaris Technology Incorporated v. City of Muskogee, Muskogee County District Court, case number CV 2025457, and Oklahoma Supreme Court, case number 123730, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Manager Kendall Francis, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. C, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Attorney Katrina Bodenhammer, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. D, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Clerk Tammy L. Tracy, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
Could we have a motion to go into executive session, please?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
All good.
Okay. Could I have a motion to return to regular session?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mike Brawley,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford,
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Here.
Jamie yes,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. We are now in regular session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Here.
Here.
Yes, she's here.
Yes, I can.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes, here.
Melody Cranford.
Here.
Dan Hall. And Mike Brawley.
Here.
Miss Bodenhammer.
Thank you. Item 2A, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss the lawsuit styled Polaris Technology, Inc. versus City of Muskogee, Muskogee District Court case number CV 2025-457, and Oklahoma Supreme Court case number 123730, and there is no action required on this item. Item B, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Manager Kendall Francis, and there is no action required on this item. Item C, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes.
Bless you.
The council did convene an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Attorney Katrina Bodenhamer, and there is no action required on this item. Item D, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss the employment and evaluate the performance of City Clerk Tammy L. Tracy, and there is no action required on this item.
Thank you. Anything else? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.